Aloha, my kako. This is Oracle of the Golden Spiral. Today we're going to be doing a reading for Virgo placements. What is the most important messages for Virgos right now? What is the most important messages for Virgos right now? For the Virgos we have here on the channel, what is the most important message for Virgos right now? Okay, Virgo. What is the message for Virgo? King of Swords, the Chariot, Six of Wands, Three of Swords, Page of Swords, Ace of Wands, and the Fool. Okay, Virgo, tell me about this Three of Swords, please. Tell me about the Three of Swords for Virgo, please. Tell me about the Three of Swords for Virgo, please. That is too many. Virgo, you did get the Star, the Sun, and the Ten of Wands. But let's... I'm not sure we need all those. So I'm just going to tell you what they were. But let's go ahead and get a clarifying card for the Three of Swords for Virgo, please. Clarifying card for the Three of Swords for Virgo. Why does it want to come out in threes? The Seven, maybe these are different messages for you folks. The different groups of you. Seven of Pentacles, Five of Wands, Five of Swords. Clarify the Three of Swords for Virgo, please. Clarify the Three of Swords for Virgo. Clarify the Three of Swords for Virgo. Nine of Cups. Oh, sorry, Eight of Cups. I'm going for that ninth cup. Eight of Cups, please. Clarify the Page of Swords. Okay, you're meeting something with a new, fresh energy. It's like you gained, in the past, it's like inside, you feel like you've gone as far as you can go with the knowledge that you had in the past. And right now you're investing, because of something that hurt you, you are taking that brave and bold step to move past the experiences, the emotional experiences you've already had, and to it's like you want to release yourself from these. The Three of Swords is pain and sadness, but it's like pain in the way of like our thoughts are hurting ourselves, so we realize we need to go and make ourselves happy, and you're focusing on that as you move forward, but you're meeting it in a very like responsible and important way here, because you're meeting it with this new fresh energy. What else can I learn? I've exhausted where I can go from this thought. I want new passionate victories, right? And I need to start this new beginning. So how do I accomplish that? And what you're doing is you're going back to the base structure of things. Is what can I learn, and what am I excited about, and what can I learn about it to create this fulfillment. Tell me about the Fool, please, for Virgo. Tell me about the Fool for Virgo. Tell me about the Fool for Virgo, please. Two of Swords. And one more for the Fool for Virgo, please. The Fool for Virgo. It's too many. We'll just take them. Okay, so Two of Swords, Ace of Pentacles, and Strength. You have a lot of great energy it's saying that if you want that, you're on your right path. You kind of are doing it in a very wise way, but it's letting you know that on your journey, to recognize those things that will, for some reason, it wants to point out. I'm getting this. It's a very strange way I'm getting this. So I'm getting this as like, you know, when you plant a seed, you don't know if that seed's going to grow or not grow, right? We can take the best care of it that we can, but if the conditions just don't work out to be right, it can be a bunk seed. It can, why am I harping on this? I have no idea. But, and they're taking me back to when I was trying to plant citrus in Hawaii. This is like a very frustrating experience, because to be able to do citrus, you essentially have to germinate the seeds for like months in your refrigerator. But the humidity here, the way that it works, like you just have to have a really great refrigerator, because inevitably what happens in that environment is it can get a little too wet and then it molds. So you have to have like more control over the situation. But this is the exact opposite. This is saying that I'm also getting like, this is super weird, I'm getting like the March of the Penguins, where like, you know, they're there to observe and to take, this is like a traumatic experience for me when I was a child. I don't know why it's coming up right now, but in watching March of the Penguins, it's like there's a bird and it's like dying and they could help it, but their point of being there is to observe what happens in nature and to let nature take its course. And they don't. I mean, and they do. And I, as a child, that like broke my heart that they were just gonna let this baby penguin die, and freeze up. And that is like the course of nature. I think it's coming in because maybe that's what you're learning, or it ties into the advice somehow, is to make sure that when you're excited about, you know, you find what excites you and you learn more about it, that you realize, and that you're taking heed of the message that, like, right, this is the underlying, is that strength and control, knowledge and moving forward. And so it's echoed over here. So it's like it's taking your underlying energy and manipulating it in a way, and all the references it's giving me is to let it take its natural course. I don't think this is trusting in yourself, because I think that you have made all these great decisions here in to you have this very keen sense of what's going on. You know where you want, you know what successes you want to have, you know where you need to get to. And this is an investigative time after the hurt and the walking away. This is an investigative time to figure out where to go with that. But it's almost as if this is not saying trust yourself as you take the leap. It's almost saying it more in a overall cosmic sense, which is like, it may be counterintuitive to all of this that you learned before, but we are investing in new, and to recognize that sometimes the strength is not to push it or to focus too much on making sure that seed activates and grows, but to just let it be what it's going to be. This is what I'm getting from that. It's like the counterintuitive thing is to just let it be what it's going to be. And that is what's going to bring about this new beginning. New passionate beginning. And I think that, I mean, I really think it is going to get you to that victory you're looking for. This is so obscure. Yeah. It will get you to that new beginning and to the growth, right? This like kind of relates to this right here. It's like growing that, letting it take its natural course, growing that, trusting in that. It's like a little bit, it just feels too vague for me. Like I want a little bit more in the way of information, but maybe it's because this means something different to each of you. This is going to be different for each of you. This is going to be different for each of you. I mean, I guess that's how it always is in tarot readings, but it's like, it really is giving me, I'm getting like this bubble effect where like, I don't know what the stuffing's made out of. I can only see the exterior of the ball, right? It's giving me, oh, like this. It's like very little tangibles. Whatever it is, it's going to provide you success. I think that's essentially what I'm here to tell you, is that you have gone through whatever this was. You do have your head on straight and in the right direction. You are approaching it in new ways. But the key here to this exciting beginning is to understand this the relationship between these two things that I talked about before, and understanding that to, of course, put yourself in a nurturing energy, but at the same time, let it grow, let it be, let it develop, because it's going to show you how beautiful that ends up being. If it needed to be controlled, this would be the king, right? Sometimes the strongest thing we can do is to understand. Yep, I'm okay. I've been watching this like series. Is it on Netflix? I think it's on Netflix. I was watching, so I'm Japanese, and my family comes from, you know, I mean, I guess all of us who existed now, family lived through the age of the samurai, right? But my family was samurai family, and in any case, that's kind of not important. Except that I do think it is incredibly weird that they just like became the tax collectors, you know, like, I don't know. It's a very strange experience. If you have time, take a look and watch that. There may be something in that series that is important for you to know, but because it's coming through pretty intensely. But if it were the King of Wands here, I would say that I would be saying something completely different. But this goes to confirm what I was speaking about earlier, because this is the yin energy of that. And with that, you can see that the bridge between planting the seed and the oak tree, you know, in its final glory and fruition, is that nurturing and yin and allowance energy. Right, and sometimes, and it goes back to what I was saying about strength, is sometimes, and the samurai is like, sometimes strength is or just those principles in general is like, sometimes strength is the allowance of, is just allowing it to be. Sometimes it's harder to do that than to try and to maintain it. And you understand this a little bit because in the Chariot is a little bit of it, right? like people say this is like hard control and soft control, but that isn't always the case. This is also sometimes, depending on what's around it, like being able to, it denotes the victory, but it also denotes this sort of being able to balance opposing forces, which sometimes or I can see it can be seen more as a control thing, but also being able to force it is knowing when to relax that rein, right? When to pull it, when to relax it, when to pull it, when to relax it. So you have a little bit of this inherent in you, and it's asking you to kind of relax that rein versus pull it up. You would think you would need to pull it up because of this victory that we're trying to gain. But it's far less about the pull-up control and more about the strength and the relaxed control to bring this seed to fruition. I don't know. I hope that means something to you, Virgo. Thank you so much for sharing your time and your energy with me. I do see this as a beautiful outcome, and I'm wishing you all the best. As always. Oh, please subscribe to the channel, and because I'd love to have you in the future, and you'll be, hit the notification if you'd like to be notified for future readings. And as always, mahalo.